Happy version of me. Most people think intimacy is about doing something right. The right move, the right touch, the right rhythm. But the truth is what sets a moment apart. The kind of moment that haunts someone in the best way is not technique, it's presence. Emotional presence. That's what most people miss in the first minute of intimacy. They're too busy worrying about how they look, what to do next, version of me, or how they're being perceived. And in doing so, they miss the one thing that actually creates obsessioning, making someone you feel you're really there with them. Think about it. When someone feels like you're fully present, they let their guard down, not because of what you're doing physically, but because they feel seen, not just touched. Version of me. There's a powerful difference between being touched and being felt. The first is mechanical. The second is emotional. An emotional intimacy is what lingers. That first minute isn't about rushing. It's about slowing everything down. Look him in the eyes. Let your gaze say, I'm not somewhere else. I'm not in my head. I'm right here with you, y'all. That moment of quiet, moment of stillness, it builds tension in a way that no fast movement ever could. Happy version of me. It tells him this isn't just something you're doing. It's something you're feeling. Presence means you breathe with him. It means you don't rush past the moment where your hands first connect, or the silence before a kiss. It means you allow the electricity to build naturally, not forced by choreography. When you give that sense of stillness, of calm, of emotional connection, you create something rare. You happy version of me. You become the kind of woman whose energy stays with him, not because she said all the right things or moved in some perfect way, but because he felt something he doesn't feel often, being completely seen and emotionally connected. This presence has another affecting, brings out his own presence. It invites him to drop his guard. Men are often trained to perform in intimacy, to show strength, version of me, to take the lead. But when you're emotionally present, he doesn't feel like he has to be a character in a story. He just gets to be human. That permission is deeply intoxicating. It's not about control, it's about surrender. And that surrender becomes addictive when it's wrapped in trust. Most people are never given this kind of presence, especially in a world obsessed with shortcuts and surface level intimacy. That's why when a man experiences it, even just once, it burns into his memory. He will remember how you made him feel. Happy version of me. He won't know exactly why he can't stop thinking about you, but he'll feel a pull he can't ignore. That's the power of being fully emotionally present in the first minute. It's version of me. It's not just the beginning of intimacy. It's the imprint that lingers long after. What most people don't realize is that men, even in their most intimate moments, often carry invisible armor. They may be physically close, yet emotionally guarded. And that's why, version of, if you want to leave a mark that lasts beyond the moment, seeing of me, the second most powerful thing you can do right at the start of intimacy is create a sense of emotional safety. Because without safety, version of me, there can be no real surrender. And without surrender, there's no obsession, no memory that sticks. Safety isn't about comfort alone. It's about allowing someone to drop the roles they usually play and just be real. In the first minute, version of me, the energy you give off either invites him in or keeps his guard up. You're setting the tone. Your P version of me. You're telling his nervous system whether this is a space where he can be accepted or if he needs to keep performing. And what draws a man in forever isn't the perfection of your body or the intensity of the act. It's the emotional refuge he feels in your presence. That's rare. That's what he comes back for. Safety in this context doesn't mean babying him or overthinking every move. He version of me. It means communicating through your touch, your eyes, and your energy. You don't have to be anyone else here. When you touch him with softness, when you slow your breath, when your body language says, I'm not here to judge you, you start disarming him. It's subtle, but he feels it. That relaxation he begins to feel. That's the real hook. because most men live under pressure. Pressure to perform, to impress, to be in control. But in the safety of your presence, that pressure begins to melt. Happy version of me. And what's left is vulnerability. And that's where the obsession starts to build. This doesn't require a speech or dramatic gestures. It's as simple as not rushing him, not P version of me, not evaluating or correcting or even trying to impress. It's about being emotionally attuned. If he's unsure, version of me, reassure him with your presence. If he's tender, meet him there. If he's confident, stay soft and receptive. Version of me, when you show him that you can hold emotional space for both his strength and his softness, he starts to associate you with peace. And that's powerful, because while attraction gets attention, emotional safety creates attachment. The beauty of this is that it flips the dynamic. Instead of chasing intensity, in version of me, you're inviting depth, and depth always leaves a deeper trace. Your version of me, you're not trying to win him over with tricks. You're showing him a feeling he doesn't get anywhere else. In that first minute, the version of me, when he feels like he can just breathe, like he doesn't have to put on a show, he begins to connect. Version of me. And that connection doesn't dissolve when the night ends, it stays with him. He'll crave that feeling again and again. Even version of me, even if he can't put it into words, he'll just know that with you, he felt safe enough to be fully himself. And that kind of intimacy doesn't fade. It lingers, it builds, and it binds. Version of me. When it comes to creating a moment that sticks in his memory, Wumpy version of me. One of the most underrated but incredibly powerful moves you can make in the first minute of intimacy is giving him a subtle, sincere affirmation. Not flattery, not a line you've rehearsed, but something real, personal, and unexpected. Something that tells him, I see you. Men are often starved for genuine acknowledgement in emotional and intimate spaces. They're used to being desired for what they do, not appreciated for who they are. That's why when you lead with even a quiet moment of affirmation, it penetrates deeper than any physical touch ever could. It doesn't have to be dramatic. In fact, the more natural it feels, the more impact it has. It could be a soft whisper like, I feel so safe with you right now, or you don't even realize how attractive your energy is. Something specific, something that feels like you're not just reacting to the moment, you're responding to him. You're tuning in not to his body, version of me, but to his being. And when he feels that, it lights up something in him that most people never reach. Men offer me. Men carry silent questions into intimate moments. Am I enough? Does she really want me? Happy version of me? Or is this just routine? Is she connecting with me or just going through the motions? When you offer even the simplest, sincere affirmation, especially at the beginning, you're answering those questions without him needing to ask. Happy version of me. And that emotional reassurance becomes a powerful bonding agent. It tells him that he matters not just as a participant in the moment, but as a person. The beauty of leading with affirmation is that it's not about stroking ego. It's about inviting depth. Version of me. You're saying, I'm here with you, not just your body. That's the kind of attention men rarely experience. Physical attraction is common. Physical validation is fleeting. But emotional recognition, that sticks. That creates a loop in his mind where he starts to associate you with a rare kind of emotional reward. This is also where presence and safety, the first two elements, come together, version of me. Because when you're emotionally present and make him feel safe, your words hold more weight. Your tone becomes a cue. Your touch carries intention. Your version of me, and your affirmation becomes something he believes, something he returns to in his mind long after the moment ends. Version of me, it doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it's just a look, version of me, a breathy, feel incredible, or a soft laugh that says you're enjoying him, not just the experience. Happy version of me. Most women underestimate how much power lives in those tiny affirming moments. But those are the moments that make a man crave not just the connection, but you. Because while he might find physical intimacy elsewhere, what he felt in that first minute with you, when he was seen, appreciated a version of me and emotionally touched. That's what he'll find himself obsessing over. That's what he'll want again and again. One of the most magnetic things you can do in the first minute of intimacy is to mirror his energy, but do it gently. Happy version of me. This isn't about copying him or trying to match every move. It's about showing that you're attuned to him. Happy version me. Not just physically, but emotionally. When a man senses that you're flowing you with him instead of rushing ahead or waiting behind, it creates a level of connection that feels deeply personal and intimate. Happy version of me. That rhythm between two people, when one responds to the other with grace and instinct, is what makes a moment unforgettable. When you mirror his energy, you communicate without words. I'm right here with you. If he moves slowly, you soften into that slowness. If he leans in, you let your breath catch just a little, like version of me, like you're reacting not habit, but from genuine desire. This subtle dance of responsiveness tells him that you're not on autopilot. You're not repeating what you've done with someone else. Happy version of me. You're not somewhere else in your mind. You're here with him, responding to the energy he's bringing. This does something powerful. It makes him feel like he's leading the most meaningful dance of his life. And yet, paradoxically, version of me, you're the one making the moment come alive because your responsiveness makes him feel seen and understood. Version of me, you're not trying to control the tempo, you're helping shape it together. That mutual presence builds trust. It builds tension. It builds obsession. This isn't about giving your power away. In fact, it's the opposite. When you're calm, intentional, and responsive, you radiate confidence. You're not trying to impress, you're connecting. That grounded energy creates emotional gravity. Happy version of me. He won't just feel physically close to you, he'll feel emotionally drawn in, sometimes without even knowing why. Because the truth is, most people never feel fully met in intimacy. They feel rushed, distracted, or disconnected. But when a man feels truly met, not managed or manipulated, just matched, it flips a switch inside him. You can take this even further by blending this mirroring with subtle emotional cues. A quiet gasp, a smile when he looks into your eyes. Happy version of me. A playful pause that tells him you're reading the moment, not pushing through it. Version of me. These small moments of attunement send the message that you're not there to perform. You're there to experience something real. Version of me. And that's what makes him emotionally remember you long after. Most people don't realize this version of me, but obsession isn't built through constant intensity. It's built through emotional rhythm. When you respond to his energy with that kind of grace and awareness, you create a sync between you both that feels like something rare. Version of me. Something he can't quite explain, but definitely wants again. Because in a world where so many people feel unseen and disconnected, to feel emotionally mirrored, even for a minute, is a kind of intimacy that leaves its mark. Happy version of me, and he'll find himself drawn back to it again and again. There's something unforgettable about contrast. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you layer what you do. In the first minute of intimacy, one of the most powerful ways to capture his full attention is to create contrast that ignites his curiosity. That could mean shifting between soft and assertive, gentle and playful, warm and teasing. Version of me. This contrast doesn't confuse him, it intrigues him. It gives him the sense that there's more to you than what's on the surface. And that mystery, even in its smallest form, sparks something deep inside him that makes him want to explore further. Happy version of me. When you touch him with a softness that slows time, then look at him with a knowing smile like you're holding something back. Version of me, you've just told a silent story and he'll want the next page. Or maybe you kiss him gently, version of me. Then pause just long enough to let the air thicken, letting him feel that anticipation. Version of me, it's in these little moments that he starts to realize isn't going to be predictable. This isn't going to be a routine. It's an experience, one that unfolds with emotional texture. The reason this is so effective is because most people experience intimacy as linear. One mood, one tone, one direction, inversion of me. But when you introduce contrast, when you let him feel your warmth and then surprise him with a whisper that's bolder, or let a soft moment evolve into playful eye contact, you awaken more than just his body. You awaken his mind. You keep him engaged, wondering what's next. And that sense of emotional curiosity is a key ingredient in obsession. Happy version of me. It's important to understand that this isn't about games. It's not about being manipulative or calculated. Happy version of me, it's about allowing the different layers of your energy to naturally show up. Most people suppress parts of themselves during intimacy because they're afraid of being too much, too intense, too soft, too serious, too version of me, too playful. But allowing those contrasts to live side by side within a single moment creates emotional depth. It makes the experience feel more alive. And that aliveness becomes addictive. You don't need to put on a show. In fact, the more subtle the contrast, the more impactful it can be. A slow movement followed by a gentle tug, quiet breath before a playful touch. These are the things that create an emotional rhythm, a push and pull that draws him closer, not just physically, emotionally. Version of me. It tells him, without words, that you're someone who brings layers to a moment. And those layers leave fingerprints on his memory. That's what makes him come back to the thought of you, not just because it felt good, but because it felt alive. The contrast reminded him that you're not one-dimensional, that there's more to discover, that this moment with you was different. P version of me. And once he's felt that difference, everything else feels a little less satisfying by comparison. Have over me. There's a kind of intimacy that lingers long after the moment is over. It doesn't depend on how long it lasted or how intense it was. What makes it unforgettable is the feeling it leaves behind, the emotional imprint. And in the first minute, version of me, the most lasting move you can make is to anchor the moment emotionally. It's not just about what happens physically. Version of me. It's about what the moment means. When you attach an emotion, whether it's peace, joy, trust, or raw passion, to that initial connection, your happy version of me, you turn it from a fleeting experience into a memory he returns to in his mind again and again. This as anchoring happens when you're intentional with your presence, when you slow down just enough to let the moment breathe. You P version of me, you give space for emotion to rise, whether it's through a calming touch that tells him he's safe, a soft laugh that lightens the mood, or a gaze that silently says, "You matter to me right now." You create a feeling. That feeling becomes the atmosphere. And the more emotionally specific it is, the more deeply it lands. Think about it. Anyone can create excitement, but not everyone can create meaning. Excitement fades. Meaning lasts. So when a man feels emotionally anchored by you, when he experiences calm in your touch, confidence in your eyes, or deep connection in your energy, it forms a kind of emotional signature, one that his heart remembers even when his mind is distracted. This doesn't require grand declarations or heavy emotion. In fact, it's often the smallest gestures that hold the most weight. A hand on his chest as you lean into him, a whispered, "I've been waiting for this." A moment of stillness where you let your body speak louder than any words. These are the moments that don't just feel good. They feel significant. And when something feels significant, it becomes hard to forget. Whoppy version of me. What makes this even more powerful is that he likely won't be fully aware of why he's so drawn to you afterward. He may be version me, he not be able to explain it, but he'll feel it. That craving to return to you, to your energy, your softness, your presence will pull at him, because it's not just the physical pleasure he remembers. It's the way you made him feel. Version of me. The moment with you didn't just satisfy him, it centered him. It opened something in him. And that's rare. Most people miss this step entirely. They move through intimacy quickly, focusing on the next action. the next reaction, the next outcome, happy version of me. But you, by anchoring the moment emotionally, make time stand still, even if just for a heartbeat, version of me. And that heartbeat becomes a reference point in his emotional memory. He'll chase that feeling, not fully understanding that what he's craving isn't chemistry. It's the connection you created in that first minute. The one version me, the one that felt like home, even if only for a moment.